Hey, good afternoon to all of you. And uh, the last session, which is also technical and which is interesting, which is very interactive. Um, a lot of value addition for all of those. Especially people who are wanting to transition into a complement role, or also for participants who are currently into this role. All right. So in the session 2 and session 3, we talked about internal equity. That means how do we ensure that what we pay to our employees, it is consistent, and there is also internal consistency. That is doing a job evaluation and ensuring that what we pay internally is fair. Now, in the last session, what we established is how can we be competitive? How can, based on a compensation philosophy, based on a compensation pay policy, how do we position ourselves? What is the basis? How do we collect data? Then, how do we then be competitive enough? So, we looked at salary surveys, collecting, first of all, identifying the benchmark jobs, then identifying the peer companies, or the from where do we get market data, basket of collection of data. Then we looked at, once we collect data, what type of data are we going to collect, then how are we going to analyze data. Then we looked at statistical treatment of that data by using percentiles, and then positioning ourselves or trying to read where are we vis-a-vis the market, and then do we really want to make market corrections. So we looked at quartiles, we looked at percentiles. Okay, and when we say deciles means dividing the market data into uh, uh, 10 deciles, 10 parts. Okay, now having said that, then the last so in this session, what we are going to cover is, there's one more equity we talked about, individual equity. I don't know if anybody recalls or remembers. We talked about individual equity. Anybody who can tell me what did that mean? I explained to you in my first session.
Yes,
Pardon?
if my salary is more or less than one of my peers in the same department, that is individual equity.
So here we are talking about two individuals who are in the same position, and my output is much more than, say, for example, two payroll clerks. So the other guy works much more, a more number of hours, puts in more effort, but one guy puts in few number of hours, and that's it, a limited kind of a thing. But the salary is the same. So is it fair? Right? So when we look at such cases, and my output is much more than the other person's output, who are actually in the same role or in the same position. For example, a classical example, two sales guys. X, say Anita is in a sales position, and she is actually achieving a target of 500 units. And Satish, who's also in the same and who's selling certain FMCG product, he is only making 300 units. He achieves 300 and Anita achieves 500. But the payout for Anita and Satish is the same. So what happens then? What will what will Anita feel? What will be her behavior? Anita, what will be your behavior?
Less efforts.
Huh? Or even,
Less efforts.
pardon?
If
Demotivated.
the efforts are rewarded, if the
So,
efforts are not rewarded
so Anita, what
based on the
probably
work,
if I'm
so
in your place, what I will do is, either I'll be so demotivated saying that, hey, I'm actually achieving much more, but the kind of payout I'm getting is the same as Sadish, who also does not work and who just makes 300. I might as well actually just work limited and put in only that much and achieve that much. Okay. Or I will
Yeah.
say, let me actually go to another organization where they will recognize my performance and they will give me more. Right.
Yeah.
So you are actually what? Losing out a good employee, a top performer who is performing well, who is not being recognized in terms of monetary, non-monetary, and you are losing him out. So therefore, how do organizations then ensure that their top performers are retained? There is a stretch and people perform more. Like in today's times, pay for performance. That's the drive. Most of the organizations wanted pay for performance. Perform more and get more. So how do we do? Then organizations to establish individual equity, they design variable pay plans. Variable pay. It is not guaranteed pay. By the word variable, what does it mean? It varies. And it varies with what? With what? Your pay varies
with your
with what?
performance.
It's on performance. It's merit based pay.
You perform more, you will get more. You perform less, you'll get less. Right? Guaranteed something, whether you perform or not, because I have actually hired you for a particular position, you will get that guaranteed pay month on month. There is no contingency on that. There is no ifs and buts. You continue to get that salary month on month as a paycheck, guaranteed check. But variable pay, it's only there when you perform more, um, having decided on a certain target. Okay, so let us see what are we going to do. So we're going to look at all, at least know what is the short-term incentives, mid-term incentives, long-term incentives. Then we will look at compensation structuring. We'll look at pay mixes. We will look at budgeting. All right. And in fact, you will do an activity where you will also design an incentive plan. So this is the takeaway for today's session, guys. All right. Okay. So when we talk about variable pay can be like, for example, Anita comes with 10 years of experience. Sadeshiv comes with 5 years of experience in a competent position. So what happens? Anita gets a little more because she has more experience, right? So how am I establishing fairness? By giving more increment or more salary for person. First, so I'm rewarding seniority. I can also reward for merit because you're performing better, right? So how I can also reward you because Anita has some certifications in terms of compensation and benefit. She also has a certification with recruitment. She also has a certification in performance management. And right now she's in the role of what? All three. She looks after for a vertical in an HRBP role. She does what? Performance management for the entire employee workforce of that vertical. She does compensation and benefits. She also does recruitment. So therefore, because she has certifications, I'm giving her 2 increments, 3 increments. Sadish comes without any certification. So I don't give him, but I tell him, hey, if you acquire certifications, you will get an incentive for every certification. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Skill based. Okay. So what am I doing? I'm being fair. I'm being fair by ensuring. So what happens when I'm fair in this way? I'm motivated. So even if I don't have, then uh, do these certifications so that I'm able to get higher salary and not only that, career growth. Okay, guys.
Yes.
Any clarification here? None? Just give me a thumbs up so that I know exactly it's all there. Huh? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not going through that because we have already done. Now, so we looked at base pay. How is base pay established? I want you all to be quick. Let me see. This is like a fire round. How did we establish base pay?
So that's a fixed
by
salary for a job based on the gradings or the
no,
experience.
we established base pay
No,
based
we did
on
this.
job
That's why I
evaluation.
want to ask you. How did we establish base pay? Huh?
By job
See,
evaluation.
job
HRA plus
Job,
evaluation.
allowance.
job
No, no,
evaluation.
no. Base pay was established. How do we decide on base pay for positions? We do it by job evaluation.
Yes.
Ensuring we did job evaluation, we established the worth of the job or the value of the job, and then looked at market data and established what we need to pay, fixed salaries. Got it? So when
Correct.
we did in session 2 the exercise, it was all base pay, establishing base pay. Now we are coming to variable pay. So we talked about what? We talked about in the first session variable pay, hardship. The guy gets this hardship allowance when two people, one is working at night, but one is working in the daytime. So should the night guy get some additional allowance? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, because he's working at night. So especially, I'm sure Anita, Sadish, people who are working in, oil and gas and all that, rig allowance, okay? They also get that 1 month off, 1 month on, paid leave
Correct.
because it is such hardship, huh? Hardship,
Yes.
teller allowance, crane allowance. So wherever there is certain kind of an hardship or occupational hazard, people work in high altitude zones or people work in very dangerous blast furnace, steel industry, hot. So wherever there is that kind of a hardship, irrespective of whatever it is, you get certain allowance. Now, your question could be, why am I not adding it in base pay? Because
Because,
the employees can be what? Shifted. Today you
yeah.
are working, but tomorrow you may not be working. But like I was doing one consulting assignment for one organization. The entire organization works only at night because they are actually, you know, a company where they are supplying talent. They work for US companies. So everybody is working at night. Now, if I'm keeping as a night shift allowance, does it make any sense? Because it only increases your administration work in the payroll. Why not add it into the base allowance? Because
Yes.
the entire organization is working as a what? Right? So are
Yes.
you with me in that? So even in hardship, if that role comes like that, all the time you have to work, then you can add it as a base pay. But for defense means whenever you are wanting to be fair, so defending your pay salary, so typically there is a compensable factor called working condition. Okay. So a production manager or a plant manager, that working conditions, if it are very, hazardous. So the point you get when you say level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, you might, depending on that, you might get a point which will be at a level 3 or level 4. Whereas a guy who sits in the corporate plush office, he might just be at a level 1. Are you with me? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, hey guys. So I was talking about the variable pay plans. So the most important incentive with regard to performance is the performance pay or pay for performance. So what here we will learn is how to design an individual incentive plan. All right. And also a team incentive plan. Now, the background. It's a garment to retail chain. It's facing challenges. So what are the challenges? They are not able to actually increase their sales. Then they're not able to have customer satisfaction. Okay. The customers are really not satisfied. And we are only talking about one location, one store. Now, this store has what? One has employees who are sales associates, they are cashiers. Then there is this inventory guy, stockroom staff. Okay. Now, if you look at what are some of the challenges, low sales during weekdays despite high footfalls. Okay. Now, there is not much of the customer satisfaction after they have done the customer satisfaction survey, that also shows that there is a decrease in the customer satisfaction. All right. And why? Because of the inconsistent service. high employee turnover. That means salespeople are also going away. There is attrition, high attrition from the HR perspective. They're not
Hello.
able to motivate, they're not able to attract, retain. All right. Now, so you are the corporate office and you have to design an incentive plan. Okay. All of you. So the case is given to you. If you want, you can take a picture of this. I want you to use simple. I'm not wanting you all to do some complex stuff. Just follow step 1. Okay. Follow. And write their intent. Just take a picture, guys, because you will be doing it as a group work. Intent. What is the intent of this incentive plan? Because any incentive plan, the design considerations are that I should know why am I doing it? Intent. It could be functional, it could be from the HR perspective. So write down all the challenges. Say, for example, in this case, what are some of the things from the functional perspective I want to design? I want to increase the sales volume, right? That is, if I increase the sales, then sales revenue will increase. And then intent is also to design by making cross-selling, upselling. I'm sure all of you know what is cross-selling, upselling. Yes, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cross-selling is when you go to a retail store, you want to buy a pant, they will tell you, okay, they will show you a matching shirt, belt, etc. Upselling is if you want to buy a pant at a particular price point, then they will also show you, depending on, their dealings, a higher range. That's called upselling. Okay. Product mix is also in terms of how you mix and match. And then, if you buy 2, 3 more, so that's called product mix. So the intent is to increase customer satisfaction. The intent is to increase product mix. The intent is to increase sales revenue so that the billing is more. Now, from the HR perspective, if you look at the case, there is lack of teamwork. Then they're not able to retain top performers. They're not able to motivate engagement, etc. So you read the case and write. Don't write a laundry list. Just write from the intent, just like this. Use 3 or 4 from the functional perspective, 3 or 4 from the HR perspective. Now, step 2. What is step 2? Who are the people who are eligible for this incentive? Now, what kind of people do you have? You have sales people, you have support people. Now, will you be designing incentive, the same incentive for everybody? No. Why? There is something, please hear this out. There is something called performance elasticity. Now you have to understand what is performance elasticity. Now, for example, the salesperson, when he actually sells more, there is that results into output. That means he can increase the number of sales. But whereas person who is sitting, a payroll guy, I'll give you a very interesting example of HR itself. Take 2 positions, recruitment and payroll guy. A recruiter, he can increase the number of what is it ensure that there are number of hires are increased by doing various kind of sourcing, etc. And his incentive plan can be linked to it. But a payroll guy, to what extent he can increase his performance, because there is a limitation of what software, right? There is a limitation of SOP, standard operating procedures there. So therefore, what happens? To a great extent, he can reduce the number of mistakes he is doing in the payroll. So I can say 0 errors. But whereas the ability to perform increases performance is output is directly linked to the effort. So if you notice in operational roles like a production role or a sales role, the performance elasticity is very high. But in support roles like a finance or an HR, the performance elasticity is less. Therefore, if you see in organizations, the percentage of variable pay for direct operation roles is higher, whereas for support functions is lower. Does it happen in your organization? Have you noticed that? That the variable pay will be only 10%, 15%. But whereas in sales roles or operation roles, the percentage of variable pay will be higher. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So, okay. So therefore, identify those for sales. So therefore, here, if you have noticed, I have given high percentage, but for support, less percentage. So 40% of your basic pay is variable pay. And here for support, I have only given 15% of the base pay. So that is what you have to just identify. Now, step 3. What is very, very important? You can design intent, you can have eligibility, but if you don't be very clear on what are those measurement criteria on what you will assess, then that entire incentive plan can fail. So very important. How are you going to measure? If so, you will have to put a target. Level 1 will be the lower side, level 3 will be the higher side. So if he achieves less than the target, which is 100%, no incentive. But so it depends how you want to design. Level 2, 120%, then some incentive. Level 3, if he achieves more than 150%, level, so much of incentive. So what are you trying to do? You are trying to ensure that there is a stretch, that the person is motivated because there is a higher incentive. So don't get into too much of complexity, but just if you write these things is good enough. Step 4, payout. Will I pay monthly? Will I pay quarterly? Will I pay 6 months? Now, for what all? For motivation, for retention. So I want you all to do payout monthly, quarterly, or yearly. For whom and for what? Is it for motivation? Is it for retention? Okay, you can take a picture of this, guys.
Yeah.
Can I scroll down for you?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Now, Vilma will put all of you into one group only. Vilma, I think one group is good. I want to have better teamwork. I want to retain my top performer. This is intent. Now go to step 2. Do the step 2 part now. In your Excel
40%
sheet, go to write down step 2. Write step 2 and say who. So I have to now, once you know the intent, who will be covered in this incentive plan? So here you are creating an incentive plan for the entire staff of the store. Step 2, eligibility. So you have sales
If somebody
people,
if
you
somebody
have
can
support
say the
people.
sales role. So, Sandesh, Avik, Soumya, if you can just say what are the sales roles from the case study?
Yeah.
Sales people, sales manager, I think.
Sales manager, admin officer, cashier.
So, admin manager we put into support, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Admin
And
manager is in
cashier,
support. You have
cashier, where would you like to put?
warehouse,
Cashier is in
assistant
sales
warehouse
part.
manager in support. Cashier will have to put it in sales.
Okay, and then
Yeah. Then warehouse manager,
Warehouse manager in
support.
that's in support.
Yeah.
And office
Office
boy,
boy
support.
Office boy, admin officer,
in
all
support.
support.
So why I said you have to
Sales.
write eligibility and these people who are there. So sales people will have a higher percentage of their base salary as variable pay because their individual effort results into increase in performance. But support, So there is the elastic performance elasticity is not so much. Even if they put in very hard work, it doesn't impact, right? It is the sales. So you will have a lower or lesser percentage of variable pay. Got it?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Now, measurement criteria, that's also very important.
And then says eligibility. So do we need to keep some eligibility? Because in the sample it is showing right from day one, and support function it is saying minimum 6 months of probation. So guys,
If you want,
what is the
yeah,
eligibility criteria you want to propose?
so criteria is once they are confirmed 6 months, right?
So sales from the day one, are we agreeing, or you say at least
Yeah.
1 month
You
of
can
waiting
take
period?
assumptions. You can take a call. If day one salespeople, right from the time they are working, no two
Ma'am,
months, no
I will
probation also.
propose for at least, yeah, for sales guys, even I will propose 2 months, because the attrition is really high when it comes to stores. So if somebody is there even for 10 days, I may have to pay him for 10 days, the incentive. So how everybody is take, especially on the day one, or at least 1 month or 2 month of waiting period
But shall
for
I
the
tell you,
sales guys.
typically for salespeople,
For
month
20.
on month from the day one they start, they typically
Yes.
get their commissions. Okay?
Okay.
Huh. Because
We
otherwise
are
he's not
agreeing.
motivated. Because he's working hard. He's selling. He's increasing the units. Okay? At best, maybe support will have some probation. Now, right, eligibility. Sales guys, what percentage? Typically, salespeople, uh, their base salary will be between 60 to 70%, and their variable pay will be 30 to 40%. Typically,
Yes.
it's
Okay.
also written there.
60% of
Yeah.
basic pay.
If I give higher base pay to salespeople, what will happen?
They will take it as granted.
Then he won't even do sales. His job is
Yeah.
to do sales. His guaranteed salary month on month is getting good amount. So why should he? He will just be an average performer. So to
Yeah.
drive performance, you have to have a higher variable pay. It ignites top performers to make more money. Like saying, hey, if I, think of this insurance guys, insurance business. Have you noticed in insurance business, people make even much more money in variable pay compared to their regional managers also? Do you know that?
Yes.
So there in that insurance business, supposing I don't have a higher percentage of variable pay, then top performers, they'll say, what is the incentive for me? Why should I work hard when I don't get more incentive?
So guys, what is the percentage of salary you want to recommend for sales and support, or would you like to have separately for all kind of roles from the administration purpose? So what is my proposal is, like, we can just have two slabs, one for sale and one for support, so that administration is easy, and
Yes,
60%.
administration is easy,
Yeah.
but office boy, if you take 30% of his base pay, what will motivate him? So keep that guy separately saying, we'll give lump sum for him.
Now, yeah.
What is the office boy's job typically?
How does it
Putting the
realistically
shutters
happen in
down,
a
putting the
FMCG?
shutters up, giving water, right?
Got it.
In an FMCG, how does it happen
Just maybe
realistically?
at 5% you can keep, or 10%. Typically. I would say 60%. Okay. Okay, keep it. Done. Okay, no worries.
I have a doubt here. For cashier also 60% base pay, or
No,
cashier
no,
should be
cashier. That's
more?
what
It
I
should
want
Yeah.
to
be.
make. I was just looking at, I'm
Yes,
just
ma'am.
trying to see
Yeah,
what
correct.
you all are doing.
Yeah.
So typically cashier,
Base
think
pay
about
should
his
be
job.
more.
E- Even if he works very, very hard, he, does his effort bring more output? Think of it.
No.
Huh? So, so obviously, therefore, his variable pay needs to be between, say, about you can have 20%, 10, 15%. Okay.
Yes, correct. So
But the
base pay at
cashiers
least
also sell.
Now, why
The
are you putting
cashier,
that variable pay of 10%, 15%? So that he doesn't make errors. Huh? He ensures cash is collected. There is no gap. There is no, so
But
accuracy, etc., etc.
I think for
but
cashier base pay would be
cashier,
70%, correct?
cashiers also sell value-added products in
Yeah.
store also. They do selling.
cashier
Yes,
is
correct. At the cash point, they do selling, but they cannot sell like a sales guy.
That is not okay. That's correct. But still, and he has a major role in customer satisfaction. Okay,
yes,
consider.
yes.
Imagine if he is actually letting a customer wait for 30 minutes. Do you
Yeah,
think
that's
it's
why we are keeping 30%. No? Base pay, I talk about 70%.
Now, can I pitch in?
Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Think about like this. Let us come to that guy, cashier. What all does a cashier typically do? And takes the cash, credit card. Think of his job and then say, what is that he needs to do? Accuracy, right? Zero errors, ensuring that there is proper collection. So, therefore, the variable pay will be lesser because even if he works very, very hard, so obviously there is no scope for increasing. So the variable pay. So he will be have say 15-20% is fine. Now look at admin manager. So you decide admin manager, what all does he do or what is he going to do? If you are also making him, a warehouse guy and office boy are reporting into him, ensuring that there is a product there, just in time, inventory and all that. So 30% is also a little on the higher side because his work is not directly, even if he puts in a lot of effort, performance work, so output, it won't result into increase of sales or revenue or etc. So maybe 20%, 25% should be I'm just trying to build in the
Uh,
logic for
so,
you all.
ma'am, I
Now,
have a point when it comes to
yeah,
admin manager. I
uh,
would like to propose for a higher reason being he is having a team, and for a store upkeep, the cleanliness, neatness, and how inventory has to be arranged. I believe he must be handling that. So
yeah,
for the
yeah.
team management piece and the look and feel merchandise for the store, admin manager is responsible. So somehow he may need to have a little higher.
Okay. So yes, but what I'm trying to tell you is look at the output and see what is within his control and what is not within his control. Okay. So based on that, admin, if you're saying he has to take care of all these things which you have just described, then it's okay. Between 25 to 30 is
Because
absolutely
when I look
fine.
at metrics, so
Yeah.
customer satisfaction, he may play a role wherein the customer
Sure.
is getting
Absolutely.
clean
Yeah.
store. And when it
True.
comes to even employee turnover, so looking at the employee comfort, say your source person or even the salesperson, so if he's taking a proper care of them, because end of the day, I am not sure whether the HR person is over there. So looking
Yeah.
at also at the engagement activities,
Yeah.
what he can contribute to. So he can contribute to employee satisfaction over there, and in return, it can actually reduce the turnover by
Excellent,
making the
excellent,
cultural environment
excellent
over
point.
there.
Now, I just want to come in and link it up with a very good learning thing. Anita, you mentioned 3 or 4 things, right? Customer, ensuring teamwork, even top performance retention and all that. Now, what get measured gets done. So what gets measured gets done. So therefore, it can be linked with pay. Got it? Are you with me?
Yes.
Because you're going to measure now, saying the team, retention, etc. So now that can be linked with performance and saying, hey, these are the things we are going to measure for you. Because then when people, top performers are retained, when there is better teamwork, when there is better customers orientation, etc., which indirectly will help my salespeople to increase sales. Got it? So therefore, you are keeping to motivate him, you are keeping a variable performance incentive. Got it? So what I'm trying to tell you is that just by having an intent and just by telling percentage of variable pay, tomorrow, say for example, at the end of the year, during payout, the admin guy did not get, he only got 80% of the variable pay. Then he will ask you, ma'am, why did I get only 80% of the variable pay? Why not 90% or why not 100? What will be my defense? I mean, management's defense. So therefore, when you design an incentive plan, not only the percentages, but we have to write what is it going to measure. Got it? Measurement criteria. So now we will arrive, instead of putting it there, eligibility, now you go to the step 3, this L1, L2, L3 will come there. Got it? Key performance indicators. What am I
Do I
measuring?
continue? So these guys you suggest need to have one KPI or more?
No, you can have.
Multiple.
Okay, very interestingly, I'll tell you. You asked me a question. Should they have only one KPI? Recruiter. I'm saying I'm designing a referral incentive, no, not referral, incentive plan for recruiters. Okay. So I will say, okay, the number of high closers, number of closings you will do of the requisitions within 1 month or within 2 months, you will get incentive. So what will the recruiter do? He will not even look at quality. He will just start recruiting people and closing the positions. So 20 positions have to be closed. I will close 20 positions because I will get an incentive. But what have I stated? To close 20 positions within 1 month or to close 20 positions within 2 months. But I have not put another KPI or two. They have to be within that cost. They have to be within that quality criteria. Are you with me?
Yeah.
The entire group, guys.
Yes,
Huh?
ma'am.
Satish,
Yes.
are you with me?
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
So what will I do? Say, for example, on the floor, a production guy, worker, 500 pieces you have to do. He will do 500 pieces, send it. But I have not put a criteria there. The pieces have to be of certain standards, certain costs, less of rework. Got it?
Yes.
But suddenly
Yes.
I can't pull in all those things. So what gets measured gets done. So according to you all, you can put 2, 3, 4 KPIs. Okay. Now you brainstorm. So I'm just giving you the inputs, for discussion and also for you all to do this activity.
But in this, Anita, don't we need to identify what type of incentive we are planning to give to them?
So it's a monetary incentive. 60% of the salary we are defining it over here.
No, that's what. There has to be, it can be an individual incentive or it can be a team incentive, right? So what type of incentive?
It can be team also. Yes, it can be a team also.
So in that, against each and every employee, when you have put the incentive proposal, I think you should add type of incentive also, because I think for a sales manager, it should be a team's incentive, and for salesman, it should be both team and the individual. I don't know.
No,
Okay, so let's go.
Okay, let me come in here. Sales manager, very good suggestion. It has to be team. But for a sales guy, you said team. I want you to explain where is the
Yeah.
scope for sales guy team.
So sorry, it should be an individual. Yeah.
Because salespeople have individual incentives. But again, when you talk about support, warehouse, etc., they can have a team.
Ma'am, I have a confusion here.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, ma'am, we are just preparing this for an individual incentive, correct?
So you are preparing an individual incentive plan for sales,
Yeah.
and you can prepare. I mean, I want you all to prepare an incentive plan, which will be a team incentive, obviously, for the support staff. It,
Yeah.
or you can
When we're
incorporate
considering the
as a
base
part of the
salary,
incentive. Yeah. Mm.
yeah, we're considering the base salary, though that is means individual base salary, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
अरे पता है तुम इधर बैठ जाओ तो
Retention is, Anita, is it customer retention or employee retention that you
It's a team
mentioned?
retention of top talent, what we wrote.
Yeah. Be specific so that it is nice and clear. Yeah.
Anything more you want to specify for sales manager? Weekday sales, customer satisfaction, retaining top talent, new customer, repeat customer, anything into other pieces?
Then these are the only concerns that is there in the case study. So I think we can go on with that.
What is the level of performance you guys are seeing when it comes to weekday sales? So their current performance is 10,000 per day.
See,
And
I also leave it to you. Don't have to be in numbers. You can have in percentages like 80%, 100%, 120%. You can use that way also. Okay.
100% of the target we save over here.
Yeah. So I mean, because it gets a little easier for you to design the incentive plan. Hmm?
Yeah. So, guys, are we agreeing to the percentage of target over here? Anybody has any inputs? So, I have put expected performance at 100%, which is whatever be the target the person is carrying. And then the stretch performance, it is at 140% and minimum performance at 90%. So, you have any other points into that, or you think something this is has to be changed? So, you can please add in over here.
I think since we are planning for a incentive plan, okay,
Correct.
the L1 should be 100%. Minimum target should be achieved 100, 120, 140, in my opinion. We are not give for 90% achievement an incentive. If he has achieved the 15,000 sales target, then only we can give the incentive, in my opinion. Rest team members can. Hello?
So
And
typically,
or else we can put ki like 90 to 100% or
So,
100
I
to
have
100.
No, it is, see, we are going to have different weightages for 90%, 100%, 140%. No? So I think that this is fine. So if you're
even
achieving
I do
90%,
agree that means something has to be paid even for minimum performance. So though we are keeping a threshold of 90%, but even the person, if he is not meeting the target, he has to be like awarded for this. So say if this KPI, this is 100%, so we need to give a weightage. So guys, maybe weekly sales
let
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
can
50%
I
weightage.
just figure in? Okay. Now, so typically what happens here, so minimum performance could be, say for example, there is a threshold. That is,
yeah.
you have to achieve X amount. Got it? Because
Correct.
that's the minimum threshold you have to achieve. You have to achieve this much sales. Okay, month on month. Otherwise, then when I'm evaluating, I'll say, hey, you are not achieving your minimum, whatever is the threshold target. So then after 2 months or 3 months, I will say either I'll send you for training or I have to then sack you, underperformer, right? Now, having said that, Now, there are certain 2 criteria or 3 criteria, like very nicely put, weightage. So I also have to, overall like customer satisfaction, retention of target, new customers. So I'm trying to now bifurcate. What is the weightage given to this? So overall, absolutely I've done that 100%. And then, yeah, you have put 90%, but typically X is the target. If you don't do that minimum, then typically in organizations 100%, then 140%. Okay. So it depends. So you are saying 90% also people should be motivated and given little. It's okay. This is like again performance rating when you say poor, which will be 0. You don't get any increment, right? Even 1, do they get some increment? Very rarely.
But the role, it is sales, but the person could be also contributing towards a good satisfaction towards customers or retaining,
Yeah. So
retaining.
yeah,
So that's why,
absolutely,
yeah,
I agree.
he may
So
not, he may
once you
miss
have
on
put the
that KPI.
weightages, once you
Yes,
have put the weightages and you have the data, then he gets some amount of incentive.
correct.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go by that. Now
So
go to payout.
are we agreeing all for this weightage?
Yeah.
Because he's
Please,
a sales
I'm
guy.
going to now be quiet. Let the group agree.
So, Avik, Sandesh, Soumya, are you agreeing to the weightage, or do you think we should modify the weightage for the sales guy?
It's
Yes,
okay. It's
definitely.
okay.
What are your views? Like, though I have put 40%, but I want your opinions. If you want it to be at 40% or higher, because this is their core job. So, for the core job, do you think we should increase this?
We can have a one-time incentive, maybe 40% for a duration. So if not indefinitely, we can have it rolled out for 3 months. And 3 months, then
No, no.
we can declare the best seller of the month, of the quarter, and then we can stop that incentive. Because otherwise, an incentive doesn't make much sense. If an incentive plan remains indefinitely in picture, that's my opinion. Again.
But Avik, we are looking at right now just designing the level 1 of incentive plan. So that could be taken up in the yearly criteria if we are designing to the third level. So the first thing is what we have to do is like just design the KPIs for the monthly incentive plan, what we are going to pay to these guys on monthly basis. So we can have some conditions which could be later on linked on to quarterly, half yearly, or annual.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. That makes sense.
I think that new customer weightage we need to increase, I think, because it has a direct impact on sales. So I think the new customer weightage, maybe we can increase a little bit. Because that
Guys,
has
how much time more will you need? 5 minutes or 10 minutes?
maybe
You have to
5
be
minutes
very
max.
fast. So guys, let's be very fast.
Yeah.
So I'm just putting the numbers, and if anybody has any other views, you can simply say to change that. So customer satisfaction, how do we measure the customer satisfaction? So is it these guys are filling up any sheets like that, or it's basis the feedback which is being given while they enter or exit the store?
While they exit,
And this is
Yeah,
just
while they exit the store.
they have
So
4 or 5 smileys, and there they will put,
yeah.
they will insist, please, ma'am, please press.
So, what is the expected performance of customer satisfaction? We are looking at 80%, 90%, or 100%. If we have, say, a rating
Uh,
scale of 5,
I think for customer satisfaction, it should be 100%.
so can I add a point to what Soumya said? Instead of putting it at a 100%, because this is very relative when you say 100 or when you say 90, because 100% customer satisfaction may not be always achieved. So,
Should
we take a
always be
ballpark.
90 and more. 90 and more.
Can we take a ballpark for last year, whatever customer satisfaction we closed at, and say we want to increase it by 10% or 25%, or either 140% to that. I don't know, ma'am, if you have
That's a
anything.
very good point, because typically, if you go back again to your organizations, when you do an employee satisfaction survey, what do you do? Typically, you'll say, hey, last year this was my ESI, employee satisfaction index. We need to increase it by 2 points, 3 points. So you're always taking the previous year's index as the benchmark and then increase it. Likewise, you can always say whether it's the previous month or previous quarter or previous 6 months, and say we want to increase customer satisfaction from the previous by so many points. Got it? Excellent point. Yeah.
So are we agreeing to be increasing it
Yeah,
by certain points
yes.
as a team?
Yes, please.
Okay, now coming to the third, retaining top talent. So when you say top talent, anybody, can they define what is the top talent according to
Anita,
them?
what's the meaning of 1, 2, 3? Can you please explain?
So here 1, 2, 3 I have taken is like, say this is a 10 car scale. So it is in terms of the percentage, say 10%, 20% or 30%, or if we are considering in 10 points, it could be 1 point, 2 point or 3 point. Relative on top of whatever we are considering the scale, because we don't have any percentage as of now defined for customer satisfaction. So we are defining in terms of 1 point, 2 point or 3 point. Or if the definition is in terms of percentage, say 70% was my last year, so 80%, 90% and 100%. And if we are saying 90% was my last year, I'm saying 100%, 110% and 120%. So that's the percentage depending on what is the score we are taking in.
Okay.
So guys, coming to the third point, which is retaining top talent. So how do we define the top talent? It is the top performers of the score. Since this is a sales manager and we are not sure, we don't have any idea what is the team he is handling. So looking at this case background, this says that sales manager has 20 sales people under him. So can we assume that his top talent might be, looking at the bell curve, 10% or even 20%?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are assuming that out of 20, with the bell curve, say around 20% might be the top talent. Say so 5 guys are his top talent. Are we assuming this way or any other inputs?
Retention of talent.
I think top talent should be linked with the revenue, sales
Mhm.
revenue.
No,
If
so
he
we
has
so
top
we are saying
three
like
or top
retaining
five,
top talent. So he say he doesn't lose. He is retaining all the 100% of top talent.
yeah,
So that is the stretch performance for him. So maybe the sales manager, he has to make a list at the start of the year, and he says these are my 7 top performers which I have to retain throughout the year. So this is his
yes,
100%. By definition, are we agreeing?
yeah.
Okay. So I say 100% of top talent, because
I
our
think
KPIs
it's,
has to be very clear. And then
yeah,
I say 80% of top talent, or say 90%. So is this realistic, or you think we need to modify? I'm not sure
So
if this
when
is
when
realistic in
Anita
your
is
understanding.
putting this, just to clarify further for Anita, for the team, what she's trying to say is, if we have identified 20% as a top talent, we're trying to again say that, hey, as a under the retention of top talent, so if 80% of the top talent is retained at that L2, or 100% of the top talent is retained at L3. So we are further trying to build in KPI for that. That is a measure for it.
Correct? So are you guys with me on this?
Yeah, that should be
Because most
fine
of the
actually.
organizations,
Huh?
yeah, they do
Yeah,
it this way. They first define for the leadership level,
because
they
we are also
define that.
going a little hypothetical, right? It's fine.
Yes. Okay. So now coming to new customers and repeat customers, what is the measure for new customers and repeat customers? Can anybody pitch in over here?
now this can be measured with their, what is it called? Nowadays, whenever you are going to a shop, they are actually taking your mobile number, registering you to their happiness program, that this, and also from there they will come to know about it. How many people are actually repeatedly, how many has come new in a week or in a month. That is how they come to know about the customers.
If you
So
go to any store, do you know they will ask your number, phone number, etc. So if you go to any store, then you'll go you'll go for the second time. They know exactly you have come earlier. There'll be some bonus points for these old customers. For a new customer, sometimes they'll say, okay, fine, we are giving this. So there are, special incentive schemes, etc., etc. So you can definitely identify the guy, and mostly the cashier knows whether it's a new customer or a repeated customer, because the moment he what feeds in the mobile number, he knows how many times this customer has come to my shop. Agreed? Typically, have you noticed?
yes.
Like, for example, let me just share my experience. If I typically buy all my clothes from Fab India, and if I haven't gone for a longest time, they'll say, ma'am, the last time you came was so and so date. You haven't done any purchases since then. Huh? We are having this, or even they will send you an SMS and all that stuff, right?
Oh, yes, they do.
So, can I add in over here? So, what ma'am has mentioned. So, basis this, I have tried to add in some targets could be individual, and I think Sadish was also mentioning that what will be the team targets, what are the individual targets. So, when I think of new customer and repeat customer, it can't be an individual credit because we cannot measure that. So, what you cannot measure, it is basically altogether all the store teams' efforts. So, can I take it under teams target? Or if anybody has any other views, because being a HR for you, difficulty is like how do you measure and give a credit to that person that it's a new customer and it is being given by him, and if it is a repeat customer, it has come through him. So rather than awarding customers for just an individual person, I think we should award a team which is full store. So when we say team over here, it is full store.
I have a point here, Anita. Actually, as we are making this actually the sales manager thing, so in that case, the sales manager have a target for the new customer. Suppose adding 10% or 15% that he doing individually or by his team. That is his credit actually.
No, what I'm saying is like, how will you come to know? I am a customer and I fill
So
up a form and
as a
I
sales
say a new
manager, my
customer.
target is to fulfill 100%.
No, no, no. But
100%.
this new customer who is contributing, this salesperson is contributing, or maybe somebody else is contributing. We don't know.
Can I pitch in so that I'll bring clarity for you all? Huh?
Yeah.
So very good question Anita has raised. So when it comes to incentive, or when it comes to money, when it comes to payout, so I have to first of all find out, hey, this effort, a new customer, has it been by the sole individual effort of a sales guy, or the effort of a group? Okay. Now, so typically the question is very, very valid, because if you are either bringing a new customer or a repeat customer, it is not solely by the sales guy, right? It's a group effort, because the office boy was courteous. He kept the shutter open for a longer time. There was a lot of what good service from all the employees of that particular store. So you have to clearly differentiate. This is a very good question in terms of, is this individual effort or is it a group effort? So bringing in new customers, is it? But yes, sometimes in some organizations, like say for example, consulting. I'm just giving you a little more. Consulting, I bring in new consultants. I increase, I bring in more clients. So what happens? It becomes an individual effort. So I do get some kind of a variable pay. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So, ma'am, I have a point
Business
over
manager,
here.
increasing business accounts, right? Huh?
But ma'am, I have a different point here because it's
Yeah.
individual. We are making the individual incentive plan, correct? So suppose is my target to complete it 100%. So if I do it by my own or if I do it by my team, that is my credibility.
So,
One second.
Sumya,
You
I,
said
I will
no,
just, I
no,
will
no,
just
no, 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 no.
answer
You are
that.
getting a little. So individual incentive plan, you said by my own or through my credit. Now, a store manager or a sales manager, okay, he is increasing the billing, or he is increasing the revenue, or he is
Correct.
increasing the target
Correct.
by ensuring, guiding, directing all the salespeople. Got
Correct.
it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
There it is a group incentive, etc. But As such, just if you are designing only, say for example, here we actually wanted you to design for even others, etc. If you are only designing, if I told you design an incentive plan only for sales, so it will be mostly just an incentive plan for individual incentive plan. Got it?
Yes,
Huh?
exactly. Yeah.
Okay. But here we are saying, hey, design an incentive plan, look at the store, look at people who are working. One is a sales manager, one is a warehouse guy, one is this. So design an incentive plan as per the requirement. But ultimately, what is it? We want to increase the revenue of the store. Are you with me now?
Okay, ma'am.
Huh?
Yeah.
Are you with me? Okay. Yeah, because I think one or two of you have got confused saying, hey, we are only designing in the individual incentive plan, only a sales plan. Why are we also doing group incentive? No, the purpose was to give you a flavor of different kinds of incentive plans which can be there. Having said that, what is the goal? We want to increase the billing revenue of this store. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, guys. Quick. We don't have much time, guys, now. Please.
So, guys, I will be asking question and you may have to think through and answer me for that. When you say new and repeat customer, so what is the measure we are taking? So we are clear
Yeah.
that we are
Now I'll
taking a
give you
team that
only 5 to 10 more minutes, and I want you to do the step 4 also payout quickly. And why monthly, why 6 months? So quickly, I want you to do the last one also. Okay?
yeah. So when it comes to customer, what is the measure? How will you do the altogether measure and how you basically put it into KPIs? So repeat customers, do you want to keep it as a percentage? Say I had 2,000 customers last year build, and I am intending to have the similar customer build this year. So
Yeah,
let's
exactly.
define the target in terms of repeat and new.
Yeah. New customers you can, so the for the total revenue is by 50%, right? The target, new target is 50%. So yes, minimum performance you can stretch these 30, yeah.
So I'm just taking it as from last year build, is it? So say
Yeah.
last year build, new customers say last year build was 2,000.
You can assume a number hypothetically. I have no issues,
So
provided we just get
hypothetically,
the
we are
principle.
taking 2,000 customers were built last year, and I'm saying I'm increasing my customer base to 10% more, 20% more, and 30% more. So are you guys
Yeah.
with me on this?
Yes. Sure.
Okay. Now coming to the repeat customers. So if I had last build is 2,000, how do you want to put it across in terms of repeat customers? So last year we are assuming we had 2,000 customers build throughout the year, and this year we say that we want to retain all the 2,000. So when it comes to repeat billing, how do you say repeat billing in terms of KPI? Anybody from retail over here, if they can help in.
No one,
So
Yes, I
repeat
am.
billing. Yeah.
yeah.
So how do you measure the repeat billing?
So in that case, as you mentioned, the repeat customers is like there is a system, but an SAP they are measuring actually. Correct. They are using the system to understand like how many are the repeat customer and how many are the new customers.
How do we measure it over here? So like in my organization, we have distributors. Okay, so when you say the distributors or whatever ex distributors I have, and
Correct.
I have ex distributors build all the 12 months, they are my repeat, so I am on target. If my ex distributors has built only like say 10 times in a year, so that is my say base.
So in the
So they
retail
are
perspective, I'm saying like if a customer visited the store or buying something 1 or 2 times, that we called as a repeat customer. Okay.
Absolutely.
And the suppose I am a new customer, I never visited the store, like suppose a Mumbai shopper stop, correct? So I never visited the store in a particular this small shopper stop. So in that case, I'm a new customer.
But do you think even we should have it? Because now asking this question, I'm feeling that if we should have this KPI or not, because it is difficult to measure this. How do you
Absolutely.
actually measure?
Whatever is difficult to measure, you should, leave it out of the incentive plan. Because what happens then, there is ambiguity and you can't
Yeah, yeah,
really defend it. Okay. Now I want you all to move to the step 4,
guys, can
which
we
is,
move this out because we are not
yeah,
sure of
please
measuring
really
this,
just take that out. Now I want you all to
and
go to
I'm
step
increasing
4.
this into sales.
Yeah. Now
Okay,
you go to step 4, guys. You have
okay,
to
now
increase the weightage and yeah.
yeah, that is increased. So the step 4 was
Step 4 is payout. Payout
payment.
monthly or quarterly, half yearly or yearly. And why are you paying it? Is it for motivation, attraction, or retention? Simple.
So
So for your
can I
say,
say
okay,
first
I will,
what
let
is
me
my
ask
view?
you. You just put that for salespeople. What is the consensus? Quick, salespeople
Quarterly,
payout. Do you want
monthly,
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 quarterly, or
monthly, monthly,
yearly?
monthly.
Absolutely. Otherwise, they won't even get motivated.
Otherwise,
And in fact, for salespeople, I will say, okay, for to retain top performers, maybe I'll give bonus in half yearly or depending, or because you have top performers. So I'm also planning to give bonus, 1 month bonus or something like that. Okay. Now, support, typically, again, you have those people, so I would say quarterly, because you also need to motivate, no? When your incentives taking a longer time, people get demotivated. Think about yourself. If your variable incentive is not on time, at least, quarterly, because if you are at a manager level, okay? Now, in support also, your sales manager can get half yearly. Your sales manager, store manager can get what payout can come in half yearly, because you have to consolidate accounts, etc., etc. So he has a higher responsibility. So the payout can come. And office boy, if he's doing his job very well, staying back at night, not in a hurry to shut the store, you can give him an additional incentive month on month, because then he will rush to the customer, he will bring water, he'll be very, very polite. So why are the payouts very important? Payouts for the lower level people, monthly and quarterly are very important. At least support quarterly you can give, and operational sales people month on month, because that will motivate them. Okay, and you can always, for retaining, you can always give some kind of a retention bonus, saying that hey, you're going to get a retention bonus 6 months, or it could be 1 year, depending on the urgency and the nature of operations. Okay. So even payouts are very, very important, because it depends on the intent, whether it's for motivation, attraction, retention. So if it is for retention, typically you don't give it month on month. You will give it at the end of the year. You want him to stay at least for 1 year, then you will give it at the end of the year, because the guy will say, okay, I have to stay for 1 year because I have to get my retention bonus. Right?
yeah.
Guys, is it very clear when you're devising an incentive plan? What is very, very important and what you have to take back is, one is the intent. Why are you giving it? Intent from the HR perspective, intent from the functional perspective. Why are you devising this in? Okay. Then,
Okay.
then comes, who are the people, to whom am I giving? Eligibility criteria. At what level are they? Will I give them during probation, or will after probation? All those things you need to know. Then you have to look at measurement criteria. On what is the basis I'm going to measure? What are those measurement metrics? weightages if necessary, etc. Then after that, what happens typically? You have to see if there is funding. You will have an incentive plan for people like, excellent work done. Okay. So can I just wrap up for you all? I have seen the entire discussion, so I've seen. But even then, if somebody wants to take just 2 minutes to present it, I'm okay with it. Somebody who hasn't done the talking at all.
I think Anita can present it. Anita, you prepared so probably.
Guys, I will wrap it up for you. So when you are designing a performance pay, it is very important being from
You're
the HR
showing
side
my sheet. You're not showing your sheet.
Okay. So when you are basically designing the incentive program, it is really important that to identify what is that you are going to achieve. So your
You can
intent has
start
to
this
be,
way. The design considerations for the incentive plan for this store, right? So
yeah. So
what you have
we have this,
considered at an intent
yeah, yeah.
level. Hmm.
So we have
Yeah.
this store, and the basic issues what were highlighted during the case study is like we wanted to increase the weekly sales, and we wanted to increase the revenues, and there was attrition, and we wanted to retain the top performers, and understanding there was a gap in terms of team working. So this is also we wanted to encourage. So these were the objectives or intents we identified to be paid as in incentives for the
Yeah.
store. Okay, so
Yeah.
that was the step one wherein you identify the intent. So this is the fundamental of designing any performance pay program. You design the intent. After you design the intent, you ask whom you are designing for. So when you say whom you are designing for, we what we did as a team is like we chatted out the roles what we had into the store, and these were the five roles which were there: sales manager, cashier, admin manager, warehouse, office boy. So these were the roles we charted out we wanted to design, and
Yeah.
after that
Just
we
to
wanted to
elaborate
say
on
that,
that point, see, eligibility is nothing but which are those positions are who all are going to be covered in this incentive plan. Simple, right? If it is just a sales incentive plan, you are designing it for salespeople. If it is a production incentive plan, you are designing it for those production people. So to bring clarity, because you are writing incentive plan will be explicit, it will be a document, right? So you are bringing clarity, saying that these are the people it will cover. Okay. Yeah.
so yes, ma'am rightly said. So first we designed what, and then when we say whom, and then we say when. So when you say when, you have to decide on the frequency, and design and further bifurcate on who basically are going to achieve that. And when you think on basically it is on frequency and all because incentive. So you need to think whether it has to be what has to be the eligibility criteria which can be there across the industry, and basis that what we designed is for salesperson you need to have from day one and support function after probation. And now coming to the very important part is that what you are going to pay. So basis the industry precedence, as ma'am mentioned, that most of the industry, when you are designing for your company, say my oil and gas, I may have to look into my competition, how much competition is paying and how they are paying. And when Srijanya is doing it for her, it could be she has to look into the retail outlets, basically her competition, how they are paying. So basis that when you design, you have to decide on the percentage of salary what you have to pay, and this is directly and indirectly linked with the revenues of the organization or the revenues of the industry. So guys, we also have to think that what is the percentage you actually wanted to pay as an incentive. So if I say I am going to pay 80% and my revenues are not so high or my profitability is not so high, so maybe this is the point we did not touch much of it. But yes, percentage is very critical, because when I look into my organization and I say I'm going to pay 40% and my profitability is just 5%, and whatever I'm earning I'm just giving into incentives, looking at my opex or cash flow also. So percentage is very important, that what is the percentage you want to keep for what roles. Okay, so here we decided into this case study that for sales guys we are going to pay at 60%, And for second level sales support, guys, we are going to pay at 30%. And the administrative roles which are there, cashier and office boy, we are going to pay at 10%. So this is the percentage of salary we decided over here. Now coming to the third part, which is the step 3. So step 3 is like measuring criteria. So you need to define the measuring criteria for what objectives you are going to pay. So we designed this KPI sheet wherein we first defined the objectives, and then identified the clear measuring criteria, because the clarity is the most important part. Because when you being HR person, you are clear that what you are going to pay for. So important is to define this piece. So we defined the weekly sales, customer satisfaction, retention. So the fundamental for this is you have to understand basically the job and basically your organization. Then only you will be able to come up to designing this level, which is minimum performance, expected performance, and stretched performance. So here assumption basis we defined on these KPIs, which is at minimum, expected, and stretched. And I understand this was little tough for all of us being a team, because every industry is different. So yes, when you understand your industry, you will be able to design it in a better way. And here we had also had a challenge that what is the parameter we have to pay more. So another important point which has to be there is what parameter you are going to pay more. So like this was the sales role, so we identified that we will pay more for the sales which person is making. Say if it would have been a support function or say HR role, you would have identified, okay, talent acquisition, this person has to be more weighted on. And say if it was the supply chain role, you would have weighted him more on the inventory control. Or say if would have been a marketing role, it could be on what is the new customers or branding they have been able to retain in the market. So
Wonderful.
depending on
So I think it was very good. Weightage and everything has been done very well. And the payouts also, you have done a good job. I think overall, a very good performance of the entire exercise. I must give applause to the entire group for this. So, guys, so I just want to give few more inputs, and then probably you can take a break. See, when incentive plans, definitely, why do organizations, broadly speaking, broadly, okay, can you just pull stop sharing, Anita? And, yeah, this is mine. Okay,
We
okay.
are still in the
Yeah. So let
adoption.
me just give you a little, why do you actually have incentive plans? Because you want to motivate people to uh, perform more. So if I don't have an incentive plan, it will not motivate the top performers to perform more, because they will say, hey, I'm not getting any, benefit out of it. I'm not getting any payout. Having said that, again, when you're designing incentive plan, it is nothing like, you can use it for one, I mean, one solution for all organizations. No, nature of business, nature of work. Then, as I said, performance elasticity. A lot of all these things have to be considered before you design incentive plan. Now, here we designed an incentive plan for performance. For example, if I were to say, hey, I want everybody to come, so it can also be designed for behavior. Say, for example, on time, punctuality, attendance, I want to design an incentive plan. But then here it does not generate any income. So I need this incentive plan to be funded, right? Because in this particular incentive plan, which you have designed, it is self-funded, because obviously sales will be generated, billing will be done, and you will get. But if I design an incentive plan for, say, punctuality or attendance, 100% attendance, for some specific change of behavior, then I have to ensure that there is funding. Okay. At the end of it, every incentive plan, you should get feedback whether it's working for you or not working for you. Now, which is the checkpoint whether it works for you? You'll check with what? You will check with the intent. Got it? See, you have designed an incentive plan here to increase sales. So at the end of the year, you have to check, hey, I've designed this incentive plan. Is it helping me to increase the sales revenue? So I have to make course corrections by collecting the feedback, getting it. Is the stretch more? Am I actually trying to emphasize on the correct checkpoints? So feedback helps us to modify and keep iterating our incentive plan. Are you with me?